Supercorrupter is a 5-piece stoner punk band based in Akron, Ohio. Their sound is predicated on powerful guitar riffs pushed through fuzzy effects pedals and amplified. Most of this group of weekend warriors has been playing together since the earliest aughts. Back then, and up until a few years ago, they were the Ginger Dead Men. Though a few members have changed during that time, the sound remains rooted in their DIY punkish ethic, born in the two brothers' family room, preserved within several recordings, and occasionally echoing off the brick and mortar of Northeast Ohio bars, where they've stood shoulder to jean-jacketed shoulder with many bands in the broader genre. Keith Luchka, one of two guitarists and brother of bassist and co-founding member Jason Luchka, takes the rare frontman mantle in this interview that covers the group's present and past, process and progress, as well as the realities that family life and full-time jobs place on the band's evolution. How would you describe Supercorrupter to someone who's never heard the music before?
So we consider ourselves, I think, stoner punk. You know, with our song structures are more like punk in that we don't have a lot of like lead breaks and stuff like that. It's pretty standard, just, chug through the song. But at the same time, the stoner part is we do like those big 70s riffs, we like to be loud and fuzzy. So I don't think it really matters for us if we have a genre or not. We just like to write the songs we write and, playing for people.
What do you like most about the band's sound?
I like that we can sound big. I like that we're reasonably tight considering the few hours of practice we get. We practice maybe an hour and a half a week anymore just because of everyone's schedules and kids and whatnot. So I think for a band that only practices like 6 hours a month, we're pretty tight.
What comes first in a Supercorrupter song?
Usually it's somebody noodling around, at home or maybe even in practice between songs, and then someone will bring a riff up. Hey, how about this one? And then we'll try to see if we can free jam on it for a while, see if it can go anywhere. There's been many songs where like, oh, this is a cool riff, but we never were able to complete it, so we've got ideas from years back still that are kind of just sitting there waiting for a good B riff or a good chorus to come along.
How do you know when a song's done?
That's the challenge these days because, like I said, because of the shortened practice time we get, we can come up with a demo and stuff, but just because of schedules, it might not get finished for a few months. Usually it's when the lyrics are fully fleshed out and we can give it a good full demo, because for most of its life in the beginning, it'll exist just as an instrumental demo. And then once Nate gets some time to come in and put them down, then that's kind of like when we hit that final stage and do some tweaks based on what he wants to do with his performance.
Supercorrupter has, let's call it, 2.5 albums. Live from Inside Your Melted Face, that was 2015. I'll call that the 0.5 because the vocals weren't tracked. There's Amps, Anecdotes, Annihilation, which is considered the debut, was done in 2016, and then Remote Viewing, which was done in 2021. How do you feel Supercorrupter has progressed from album to album?
I think we're willing to try more things and try to push the edge of our skill sets. Like for a long time doing like those triplet chugs like in BFF. I don't know if we would have tried that on earlier records. But that is something we try to do from every record to record, including the Ginger Dead Men years, was to try to do new stuff and kind of, just kind of keep things interesting for us so we don't get burned out or bored.
Prior to Supercorrupter, like you mentioned, there was the Ginger Dead Men. Those are recordings I've seen from as far back as 2002. That doesn't mean the band started in 2002, but just, like it's like where a date is stamped on some of the music, 2002. That was Reentry, 2007, Sacred Order of the Owls, 2011, Forest in the Trees, with the final Ginger Dead Men album out in 2012. How do you see the difference between Ginger Dead Men and Supercorrupter?
So like the Ginger Dead Men, our main motto, and it's all over our the tagline was music is fun when you don't know how, because we started that Ginger Dead Men in 1998, and we made a whole bunch of home family room recordings that went to cassette or maybe CDRs, and I think that band was like kind of like what Guar was in their earlier days. Just let's just try whatever before they got more focused on metal. I kind of see that kind of that same evolution for us. Like I think when we did when Ginger Dead Men did Forest Through the Trees, I think we fully embraced like the stoner rock kind of vibe and just took it from there. But before that, we were doing like Reentry has a blues song on it. I think we were just probably a little bit more unfocused, but we were still just trying to get as much in as we could back then compared to now, where we're more determined to say, okay, let's do a song. Here's what we're going to try to do. Here's the riff. Let's go.
What are the standout GDM songs? Like the ones to you, you mentioned that you kind of came into your sound with the Trees album. So what were the songs that you think are just like peak Ginger Dead Men?
I mean, that whole record to me is pretty darn good. I'm really proud of that one. Snake Face is awesome. Vampire Lincoln was cool. Kaleidoscope is cool because that's kind of like one of our first like more hardcore style songs, I think. Was it the sun that was shining? Maybe it was a star. Maybe a movie queen spilling out of a car. It could have been a comet or a plane crashing down. Could have been an explosion from the center of town. Well, I think there's gonna be a riot. Wishing and Dusty Trails are cool for being more mellow. I mean, that whole record, I'm just really proud of it.
Why?
I'm proud of all of ours. I just, because I think that, like I said, that was the first time that we kind of like had a cohesive all over kind of thing going on. Like I know Merry Go Drown has that weird kind of carousel part in it, but it kind of still fits with the equipment that we were getting into and the sound we wanted to make. Like this record kind of was like, all right, this is everything that I think we want to do. Because if you go back to like other ones where you do have like these things like Sacred Order of the Owl. It began rather recently, I saw the 76 workers at the centipede, skimming in the weeds. Turn the world to themselves, the plan they put in place. The ones that polarize the man destroy the human race. They never let us see the sky and everything between. And I feel we have no way of stopping them to see. I mean, we're kind of starting to get there, but I don't know if we were quite like hitting where we wanted. I mean, the songs are still cool, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like between there and when we did Forest, I felt it was a pretty big evolution. I don't know if we were practicing more or just playing more together, or if it was Jason Craig coming in. Because before that, we were working with Sean, and Sean is a really talented drummer. But I don't know if he was really trying to push us too much. We already had these songs written, and he was kind of just, if the way I remember it anyway, just being really supportive and trying to get us out there and record this stuff. Maybe not being as vocal with the crafting. I just felt like maybe Forest in the Trees, Jason Craig came on board, and there were 5 of us then. And I think all of that just kind of mixed together to make finally, like the start of our sound.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about lineup changes. You mentioned Sean who used to play drums and sing. He's not involved. Jason Craig, who came in to take that drummer spot. You added Nate Rader. You mentioned the core. You, your brother Jason, Kyle have all been with the band. But, with things kind of changing in some of those spots, how have those changes affected the sound or even the band's approach to making music?
Well, I think, everyone was like a confidence booster, because we were in my mom and dad's family room for like 10 years before anybody was like, hey, you guys should go try to do something with this. So I think for sure we went to that first recording studio, which was Magnetic North up in Cleveland. Like I was intimidated but we did it, and that was the Re-Entry album. And, it's got some flubs here and there, but I think overall it's a good experience, kind of teaches, more of a proper way to do things. Cause at home we had all the time and, we like I said, music is fun. You don't know how, let's just do it and we'll see what happens. But here, you start spending money to make stuff. You got to like kind of focus in a little bit and be like, okay, let's get it done. But with the lineup changes, everyone we've worked with has really brought something cool in, like Sean really gave us that kick in the pants to get going and really like toughened up, that first evolution from our garage days to those first few years. And then, Jason Craig came in and kind of flavored us up a little more with his influences. And, we started kind of on this path that we're now, and then unfortunately, Sean wanted to step away for a while. We actually had made a record right when that happened. So like, what do we do now? So on a whim, Jason reached out on MySpace or Facebook or whatever it was at the time. Says, hey, anybody want to sing on our record? And then John Ryder from Coin Monster said, sure, I'll do it. So that was pretty cool. I didn't get to go down to see him record his vocals or anything, but I think they sound awesome. And that's kind of its own step in our path, because that record sounds way different because it's the only one with John on it, but it's still, it's still us, still with him. And it was pretty cool.
What are you doing now in Supercorrupter that you might not have been able to pull off in the Ginger Dead Men?
Well, I think our equipment has changed. So I feel our guitar tones have gotten better, which is again a subjective thing, but I think that for me, like a lot of what I do is informed by as I listen to myself or my brothers play. If it's something new, I might, what I'm hearing might inform me to try something. You know what I mean? Like if I'm on a more clean guitar, I might not be more apt to try to do something flashy because I'd be self-conscious about it really sticking out, because that the clean will just cut right through. So, when I'm in the mix, listening to myself and I can feel my distortion and I can, know where my feedback's going to start and the sustain, where I'm at, I might be more willing to try, hey, let's try to see if I can do a couple real fast notes real here and see how it sounds. So it definitely gives me a little bit more confidence to kind of hide behind it. But at the same time, I think it makes our songs better for it because I'm more willing to try something.
If you and the band could be known for one song, what would you hope it would be?
Oh man, I think about this all the time, and I don't even know if I have a song because I would probably go with Luggage.
What's it like playing with your brother?
I enjoy it a lot. I think we can get pretty tight. I don't know if that's just because we're so used to playing with each other, if it's a brother thing, or if it's just a musician thing. But I enjoy playing with all of them. I mean, I'll admit there's times when we're playing live and I'm listening to them more as like an audience member, and it's like, oh shoot, I'm supposed to be doing something, and it's like, whoops, and then get back to concentrating. It's a lot of fun, and that's probably the reason I think why we're still going is because I think we are still having fun doing it, and none of us have any delusions about making $1 million or anything like that. We appreciate the recognition when we get it for sure, but we're going to just keep doing it until, we run out of time one way or the other.
Thanks to Keith Luchka for the time. Really enjoyed interviewing him. Thanks to the band for making their music available. The songs, in the order that they appeared, are Fast Times, Open Things Up. It's from Supercorrupter's Amps, Anecdotes, Annihilation. Next was BFF from Supercorrupter's Remote Viewing. Then Belter's Blues from the Ginger Dead Men's album Re-Entry. Kaleidoscope followed. That's a Ginger Dead Men song from Forest and the Trees. Insectsurrection was next, the Ginger Dead Men song from Sacred Order of the Owls. Then we heard Colossus, a Ginger Dead song off Paper Leviathan. That's the one with John Ryder. And last, the song Keith would like everyone to remember Supercorrupter by, the song that's taking us out, Luggage, from Supercorrupter's most recent album, Remote Viewing. Thanks for listening.